Hey there guys, DCRS here, and today I'll be doing another top 5 video for trap cards. This time for free-to-play traps. This is the top 5 cards you should actually have, or in this case, 5 cards you should have for trap cards in Duel Links. So yeah, let's get on with this list of what you should hopefully own if you don't have it already. So yeah, number 5, we've got King's CONSONANCE. Now this is a surprise from any other trap cards that you would actually see. The reason why is that this card's actually pretty strong for an ultra rare card. So where can you get this? So now, since Jack is at the gate, you can actually get this relatively easily. So this is an ultra rare card that Jack drops, Jack Atlas drops, and yeah, it's a very strong card. So what does it do? Well, when the opponent's monster declares an attack, negate the attack. Does that sound good enough? Because it's actually a negate attack, so it's really nice. So it's like a better version for enemy controller or any other trap that literally stops a battle. Anyway, afterwards, when you negate the attack, then you can apply the rest of this card's effect. Banish one tuner and any number of non-tuner monsters from your graveyard whose total levels equal 8 or less. And if you do, special summon from your extra deck one synchro monster whose level equals the total levels of those banished monsters. This special summon is treated as a synchro summon. Now why is this a very good card that you should pick up? Well, the reason why is it's very good for synchro based decks, and also it can get around cards. Oh, sorry, not get around cards. It can get around the requirements to synchro summon a monster. So it special summons any synchro monster whose level is equal to 8 or less, depending on what you use for the level requirement. So yeah, it's a very strong card, and it bypasses the restrictions for saying, let's say, one tuner and one or more non-tuner dark monsters. Let's say it actually bypasses the part where it says dark, or one earth tuner and one non-earth tuner. So yeah, it's really powerful. On to the next card, number 4, we've got Champion's Vigilance. This is a very powerful card if you have normal monsters. Now, where can you get this card? Well, you can either get it as a duel assessment reward from Seto Kyber at the gate, or you can get it as an SR ticket. I personally recommend getting it as an SR ticket rather than getting it at the gate, because you can actually get it relatively easy, and it's limited right now. So you only need it as a one-off, so yeah, very easy to get and very easy to use in a way. But the thing is, the requirements are for this card is if you control a level 7 or higher normal monster, when a monster would be summoned, or when a spell or trap card is activated, negate the summon or activation of the spell / trap, and if you do, destroy that card. So yeah, it stops a summon and also stops a spell or trap activation. Very strong, but it's a trap card, so you have to set it first in order to actually activate this card. So yeah, keep that in mind when you try and play this card. It's very powerful when it does go off. Do I recommend? Why is this card number 4 instead of number 5? Well, Champion's Vigilance used to be a very powerful card, and it's not to be underestimated with, because when this card was at free of, Blue Eyes was actually very powerful, and with if Vigilance comes back to free again, or it goes back to 2, I'd recommend getting maybe at least 1 to 2 copies of this, depending on depending on when this card comes back. So it's a very good investment card if you were to get this in the future. So yeah, I recommend this more than the other trap card, but depends how you use your SR tickets and stuff. Anyway, number 3, we've got Esmaruba. special card, Pulse Mines. Now, why is this at number 3? Well, it's stronger than Champion's Vigilance in a way, so it stops a monster from being in attack mode. Let's see, where can you get this card? Well, you can get it at the gate, where you can unlock it via Asperoba's Dual Point achievement drop, or you can get it as an SR ticket. Personally, I would not recommend using your SR ticket for this unless you got everything else from the previous lists, like the spell cards, enemy controller, union attack and all that, special cards. Pulse Mines is more of a card that goes into machine-based decks, because this card is also semi-limited, and I'd recommend getting this card last. Unless you're making a machine-based deck, I would not recommend... it depends. I would not recommend this if you are trying to use your enemy controllers or any of your other semi-limited cards more than Pulse Mines, because Pulse Mines, it goes into some machine decks, but not all of them. Now, what does the effect say? If you control a machine monster, keep in mind it's a requirement, change your opponent's attack position monsters, if any, to defense position. Also, until the end of this turn, if a monster is normal or special summoned to your opponent's field, change them to defense position. So yeah, it's a very, very powerful card when it does go off. So if they summon any monster in any way possible, let's say if they were to normal or special summon a monster, they would go immediately to defense mode. The only way they can bypass this card is by flip summoning. So yeah, very, very strong. Also, if they were to change battle position as well, since if the monster hasn't changed the battle position, you can change it to attack mode instead. So that's another way to get around it. So yeah, get this card when you've got all the other cards. I would not recommend this card because the traps are a bit slower. So keep Pulse Mines in the back of your head if you need some battle position changes if you are running a machine-based deck. Number 2, we've got Curse of Anubis. This is an Odeon based drop, so if you're trying to get this card, the only way you can actually get it is by unlocking Odeon first, which you need to unlock Odeon, which requires you to activate a lot of traps, but it's very, very important. Now, once you unlock Odeon, you need to level him up to level 21. That will take a bit of time if you're playing in the beginning, where you're just starting a new game, where you have not many like dual orbs, or you don't have enough players to standard duels to verse against. This card is definitely needed if you're playing more of a budget based build rather than using a Pulse Mines or any other based trap that actually can stop your attack or switch positions. Now, what does the effect state? What does effect state or say? Change all effect monsters on the field to defense position. Until the end of this turn, the original defense of those monsters becomes 0. Also, their battle positions cannot be changed. So it changes all effect monsters on the field, that includes your field and your opponent's field, to defense mode, and they cannot switch their battle positions. Also, the defense becomes 0. So this is a very, very powerful card when used wisely, and it's definitely a needed card more than the other trap cards. So yeah, very, very powerful trap card. Now for our number 1 slot, we've got WINDSTORM of ETAQUA. This is a very, very powerful trap card, and it's very well known in the community as one of those trap cards where you should probably predict if your opponent has it on their side of the field. This and another card called Drowning Mirror Force is one of the few cards that people are very well know to be predictable to verse against. Reason why is because WINDSTORM and Drowning Mirror Force do somewhat similar things, but yet not similar. It's more to do with predictability. So what does this trap card do? Well, it states that change the battle positions of all face-up monsters your opponent controls. That means whatever battle position they are currently in, so let's say they're in attack mode, all the monsters are in attack mode, they all go to defense mode. But if they were in, if one of them was in defense mode, and the rest are in attack mode, the ones that are in attack mode goes to defense, and the one that's in defense becomes, well, it goes to attack mode. So, people usually try and predict this card if they have no cards left on their side of the field usually, and usually when you're trying to attack for game, they usually activate this card to predict the Windstorm or the Drowning Mirror Force and have a monster that's safe to attack again or defend themselves, and this allows you to do damage. So if you have a monster in defense mode and you have a monster in attack mode, when you attack and activate Windstorm, the monster that's in defense mode can actually switch to attack mode, and that's how you can actually attack for game. So where can you get this card? Well, you can get it by leveling up Mai to level 25. So once you unlock Mai, you should get this card immediately. This card and Curse ANUBIS are very, very powerful cards and are well known if you are playing more free to play. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this trapped card list, and I'll see you guys next time in my next video. Bye.